Okay, so so I mentioned that all these animals are really labels for collection of energies, and these energies come from two different areas, two sources. So one is the interaction with the leader of the year, the Grand Duke, which is the horse this year, and it was the snake this previous year. I mean, in 2025, where we still are in 2025. So then another source, equally important, is a collection of about over 100 general energies, which get distributed among those 12 branches. And each zodiac animal gets both auspicious and inauspicious energy every single year. And overall, when you look at the balance between all these energies, some years are luckier than others. And don't forget that human realm is all about action. And if you have a good year, don't rest on your laurels. And if you have more difficult years, remember that you grow from difficulties, right? When we overcome difficulties, that leads us to growth. And then so also remember that everything only lasts for a year. What I tell you is 2026 is one year, and then 2027 things will change. It's the cycle of yin and yang. Okay, so with this introduction, let's get to the first animal, that is the horse, which is the leader of the pack. It's the ruling energy for the year and influences many of the zodiac animals in 2026. And the general energies are kind of mixed. Some are excellent and some not good. So now let's see what is the guidance. So the main themes for the horse is visibility, leadership, also a lot of competition, hard work. You're out there in front, everybody's looking at you. You need to brace up and really work hard. The key opportunity is to really embrace this leadership and enhance reputation. Do not sit back and do nothing. Try to not be visible, because you're going to have a very difficult year. The energies, there's something about the energies surrounding us that demand you to take on. And if you don't live up to the challenge, then not such nice things will happen. And the key challenge is, because once you step up, it's burnout, right? Because you're going to be extremely busy. So expect that and prepare for that. And in terms of mindset and emotions, this is going to be a very temperamental year. So you need to deal with that and know that you have to control your temperament. And then the helpful people, who can you go for help? There are people that have in their chart goat, tiger, and dog. And then overall suggestions on how to make the most out of this year is you need to step out of your comfort zone, dream big, and also act on it, and manage time. You're going to be very, very busy. And set clear expectations, good communication, and verify assumptions. There is this energy of self-defeating energy that comes when two horses come together, meaning the horse in your chart and the horse of the energy of the year. It's a tendency for self-sabotaging that has only to do with you. So verify assumptions. Make sure you tend to take things personally, and just double check that that's really directed to you. If some offense or insult, if it's really directed to you, or it's just really you're just being negative. Okay, the next goat. It's the best friend with the horse, and it has excellent energies. So if you have goat in your chart, it's going to be a wonderful year for you. You have access to authority. You have access to the horse, the leader, the government. Great year for collaboration, and especially a powerful yang help comes your way. And by yang help, I mean kind of masculine energy, which doesn't have to be a man, but it could also be like a woman in a high position of authority, or very, very driven and with a very young personality. The key opportunity is to connect with people, and it's this collaboration energy. And the key challenge is that you make a lot of plans, but you don't actually take action. So make a plan and set some boundaries, some deadlines, where don't research too much. Put some deadlines in place by which you're going to start taking action. And in terms of mindset and emotions, you're susceptible to negative energies. So don't hang out with people that pull you down because you may take on their energy, which is not going to serve you, because this is a great opportunity year. And it's in preparation for next year when you're going to be the leader. Next year, 2027, is the year of the fire goat. And it's going to take the role of its friend, the horse. And the people that you can lean on for help, advice, are people that have horse, rabbit, or pig in their charts. And then guiding suggestions. Set very clear goals and follow through just to make sure that you address this key challenge. And then because you have this powerful yang help, in terms of setting meetings, it's much better to set them during daytime. So lunch meetings will work better than dinner meeting. And again, to keep you on track, maybe you want to get an accountability buddy. And somebody that you respect, because if it's your friend or something, they may not want to tell you. They may find excuses why you didn't do what you had in plan. And then this is also a good year for spiritual pursuits. Then moving on to the monkey, and the forecast is done in the sequence in which the animals rule the month. So horse is June, the peak of yang, the summer solstice, and then we have the goat in July, and monkey is in August. So it doesn't have any special relationship with the horse, either good or bad, and the general energies are excellent. The main theme is to make things happen, be on the move, travel, and also you're gonna be surrounded by a lot of good food and parties, and that leads to some caution that you need to take. So the key opportunity is to move, be on the move, and the challenges is feeling disconnected. So emotionally, there are these energies that come your way that you may want to be me time. And if some me time is okay, because I said the rest and relaxation is very important, right? But make sure that you snap out of it if it goes on too long, right? Because that's not, you really need to make things happen this year. This is your opportunity. And then helpful people are those with snake, rat, dragon in their chart. And then guiding suggestions. Meetings outside office, right? It has to do with travel. So travel doesn't have to be like, traveling far distance, but even just go have meetings outside, because opportunities come when you travel. So try to be on the move as much as possible, and then opportunities would come your way. And this also applies online. Online is also in the new age, the new world that we live in. That's also kind of travel. And then you have also some good energies for acquiring a new skill set. You have an academic star there. And I mentioned about all this good food. Be careful to eat healthy. Be mindful of your health, because the danger with all this good food that you have around is that you're going to gain weight. So just be cognizant of that. And then there's also some other energies that come that have to do with, connect with the elderly, make sure that you engage with them as much as possible, because there's some probability that something may happen to them, and they may feel lonely, or they may get sick or something. So make sure that prioritize the elderly, people important in your family or around you that are a little bit elderly. And then don't take action out of fear. Just make plans and then execute. Next, on to the rooster, which is again one of the best energies for the year. Has no energy, no relationship to the horse, and has excellent general energies. The main theme is if you're single, you are very likely to find a new romantic partner. If you are in a relationship, very likely you can take that relationship to the next level. You're very popular, and powerful help comes to you on many, many, many different levels. So don't rest this year. Take advantage of all of this, because next year is not going to be as good. This is one of the best years and the best zodiac animals to have in your chart. The key opportunity is exactly this. so many levels of help that you need to ask for help. That's a very important thing for you. Ask for help, because if you don't ask for help, it's not necessarily going to come your way. And the key challenge is overcommitment, because you're going to be so popular and your likability is so high that you're going to want to say yes to everything, and that will lead to problems actually. So you also have mindset and emotions. You actually have resiliency. There are these energies that make you resilient, which is fantastic. And all the other zodiac animals, I always say, well, you have to always be careful about your mindset. But the rooster will have a much better mindset next year than it's had then, or that normally people have. Then the helpful people for the rooster are those that have in their chart dragon, ox, and snake. And then guiding suggestions. Have evening meetings, because one of the levels of the help that comes your way comes from the moon, which is basically it rules at night, right? And also the moon is the feminine archetype. So women are very important in your life, whether you're a male or female. Women are very important in your life. If you have a business, focus on women. Make sure you don't piss off women. And grow your network, because you're popular, and then opportunities will come from growing your network. You're also very open to spirituality. And if you have planned to, take on a course or a certification or something, very good year for academic pursuits this year. And then time management and learning to say no are some of your biggest challenges. So you're going to be, again, very much surrounding you this to manage this overcommitment tendency that you have. Okay, next we go to the dog, which is in the month of October, and dog is a friend of the horse, and the general energies are mixed. The main themes are to do things step by step. So don't try to do everything at once. Break it down in small pieces. And you actually get the kind of health. You're able to turn negative situations into positive. You have creativity, and you have a chance for fame. Maybe not huge fame, but small fame, but fame nevertheless. So it's about your branding, your visibility. And then the key opportunity is this creativity, allows you to think outside the box, and then you can solve the challenges that come your way. And one of the challenge is legal issues due to documentation. So be careful what kind of agreements you sign. If you have anything that's pending right now, go for it. Try to solve it as soon as possible, and be very careful. Go get professional help to make sure everything is the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And on the emotion side, you have the tendency to assume worst case scenarios. So you're kind of like your not your very good friend. You're kind of cutting yourself short. And then the helpful people are those that have rabbit, horse, and tiger in their charts. And in terms of guiding suggestion, it's, enjoy life, and just enjoy the small things in life. That's going to boost your mindset as well, and follow rules that has to do with the legal and documentation issues, and start something new that's going to boost you up. And also resolve old issues that may surface this year. Very important. Don't sweep them under the rug, just resolve them. And then keep promises, and build immunity to gossip. For some reason, there are going to be petty people and gossip and rumors going around you, and, be forewarned that kind of, so who cares? Only people that are out and visible, people gossip about them, right? So you do something that other people, maybe they're jealous about it, right? And also don't overcommit financially. Then we're going on to the pig. Oh, I didn't do an animation. So it has no relationship with the horse, and it has excellent general energies. So it's a lucky year. Wealth can come, assets appreciate, good year for collaborations. Assets can be physical assets or can be the network. So that's why the key opportunity is to build your network. And the key challenge is that you may be falling for scams. So double check, discuss things with friends. If a good that seems too good to be true come your way. And in terms of mindset, you may feel some sort of loss. You may feel that opportunities are taken away from you. And also that means that you should basically, if you see an opportunity, kind of go and take it. Don't wait too long. Don't wait too long to decide whether you take it or not. And the helpful people are those with tiger, horse, and goat in their chart. And in terms of suggestions, look for additional sources of income. So this wealth that comes is also linked to, like a side gig, or you start a little business or something like that. And break up big goals into monthly steps. You have help that's coming your way, but it's a help that comes for small pieces, not the big help that some other animals got. And then network and watch your spending. On to the rat, which is the opposition party this year. Rat is water, horse is fire, horse is in the government. Rat, you can think of it as in the opposition party. The most tense relationship with the horse. And in addition to that, the energies are not so good. And I should say that the rat had some of the best energies in 2025. But now in 2026, things have changed. So the main theme is that there's going to be some significant change, and you need to expect to invest, to work very hard, invest effort, time, and money this year. And the key opportunity is exactly to address the significant change. You initiate strategic change. Change will happen no matter what. Better make it happen your way. And then the key challenge is that you may feel trapped, and there's so much pressure on you this year, and you may have emotional reactivity. And helpful people are those that have ox, dragon, and monkey in their charts. And then guiding suggestions. Really, the main thing is just be proactive. Figure out what you want to achieve this year, what you want to change, and go for it and change it. If the rat appears in your external pillars and it's about your work and external work, then maybe you want to change job, you want to get a promotion. It's possible. It doesn't have to be a bad change, but it's going to be a change, right? If it's on the inner part, then if you have a rat in the day, then it may lead to a significant change in your relationship. So, if you want to keep it, then work really hard on it. Or it could actually be, if you really wanted to step out, that could be a good time to step out of the relationship. And develop resilience. You're going to need it. And embrace solving problems. You will have to solve problems. So embrace that and ask for help, because help comes your way. And also when the animals are in the opposition party, they're fighting the government, that energy always comes with spending a lot of money. So then instead of letting it be some kind of a random thing that you need to spend money on, like, your furnace goes out of work or out of order or something like that, think about what you want to spend money on and do it this year. Invest in something worthwhile. Take the trip that you wanted to take for a long time, or change that furnace proactively before it breaks down, And also very important, this is not a year to do risky activities. Don't travel to disaster-prone areas. Don't do bungee jumping. Don't jump into fires. And also another thing is, don't, like when you travel, don't take the budget airlines. There may be more chances of luggage being lost or something. Okay, we're going to the ox. The relationship with the horse is that of an emotional harm and betrayal, but it has some of the best general energies. And the main theme is recognition and access to VIPs that are very helpful VIPs. They want to lift you up, and also lots of celebration. So the key opportunity is to push yourself to the next level. And the key challenge is to communicate diplomatically and manage your emotional mindset. You may be basically oscillate between two different extremes. On the one hand, you may be plagued with self-doubt, and on the other hand, you may be overconfident. And both of these can damage relationship, whether personal relationship or professional relationships. You may say something that you regret afterwards, and it really pisses people off. So be mindful of that. The helpful people are those with rat, rooster, and snake in their chart. And very important, conserve your finances this year. Next year, I mentioned it's going to be the year of the goat. So goat and ox are butting heads. And so the ox will take the role of the rat next year. So you're going to have to spend a lot of money next year. So be a little bit conservative this year. And very important, nurture relationships, and especially if you have ox in your day, because if you want to keep that relationship, fix and improve whatever you can this year, because there's going to be a lot of pressure next year, just like there is for the rats that have rats. I mean, for the people who have a rat in their day. So next year, if your relationship is not okay, it could be potential for a breakup. And maybe you want that, then that's an opportunity. But if you don't, then pay attention on it this year. And then you need to be strategic and rely on your network and ask for help. The good energies are really come in the form of help, and ask for it, right? Whenever I say that help is coming, those you need to ask for it. It doesn't mean that help is going to come if you don't ask for it, right? And there are some possible issues related to travel. So mitigate travel risk, as I mentioned before. Don't travel to disaster-prone areas. Don't jump into fires. Don't do bungee jumping. Not this year. You can do that next year if that's what you like. Then anger management, and so manage your anger and solve problems, right? So you have a lot to do. You have a lot of opportunities, and that always comes with stress, right? Okay, next on, the tiger. It's a friend of the tiger, but the general energies are not so good. So the main theme that you should focus on is level up, so improve yourself. And know that there's going to be a lot of competition. You will feel competition. You will feel competitive, and there's also be competition around you. And also you will feel aggressive. There's going to be aggressivity around you. The key opportunity is to travel. And the key challenge is that you're going to have reckless actions. And the mindset in emotion is that you're going to be horny this year, lustful mindset. So if you're single, then maybe that's not the problem. You have some short-term relationships. If you're married or in a committed relationship, that could actually be a problem. So you have to keep that in check, because there is a tendency for affairs that will come up to light, and it will damage your reputation, and this may destroy the relationship. And the helpful people are those with pig, horse, and dog in their chart. And then guiding suggestions: avoid risky sports, similar to what I mentioned before, and ignore gossip. You're going to have this competition, the aggressivity around you, and pick your fights, right? It's not like you shouldn't fight, but there's going to be so much aggressivity around that you really need to keep your cool and just fight the fights that are worth fighting. And then exercise caution around with sharp objects, and be careful with falling objects. So just be a little more careful in general, because you're more accident prone this year. On to the rabbit. Relationship with the horse is one of reset. Out with the old, in with the new. And in addition to that, it has that may actually be kind of scary, and it's not general, it's not a very easy relationship. It's a kind of the destruction relationship, reset, right? But it has excellent general energy. So you can make the most out of this year if you have rabbit in your chart. The main theme is that there's lots of help that comes your way. There are also happy moments, celebrations, that opportunity for advancement. Travel is really good for you. And asset appreciation, which could be physical assets or your network is also a huge asset. And your likability is high this year. People will want to be around you. So take advantage of it. If you have it in externally, sell. You'll be a good salesman. People will want to buy for you because people like you. And then the key opportunity is to grow your network, because that's where your opportunities come. And that's where your likability can be shown in full force. And then the key challenge is you are more susceptible to scams this year. So if something comes your way that's too good to be true, talk it over with some friends. Don't rush into signing any documents or paying money to people. You also have a lustful mindset. So whatever I said before applies. Be careful. If you get involved in affairs, it can destroy your relationship and your reputation. And the helpful people are those with dog, goat, and pig in their charts. And guiding suggestions, again, ask for help is there. And it's a good year for spiritual pursuits and an intuition upgrade. And eat healthy because you're also, all the celebrations and good food could also lead to weight gain. And then have clarity in communication, focus on good communications, because arguments and saying the wrong thing, like putting your foot in your mouth or something like that, can really come to hurt you. And then we're getting to the dragon that has no relationship with the horse, and the general energies are mixed. The main theme is you have help in overcoming challenges, and fame is in store for you. You can become famous, which if you have any kind of online presence, that could be possibility for going viral. And the key opportunities, you need to resolve some old issues. Some old issues may come up and you need to resolve them as soon as possible. And the key challenge is that you may feel not understood, and you may kind of retreat to be by yourself and alone and go into a downward spiral, but with ups and downs in your mindset, but kind of you need to snap out of it. And the helpful people are those with rooster, rat, and monkey in their chart. And the guiding suggestion is to clarify things, don't sweep things under the carpet, and take action. And leverage important people that you have access to. And again, communication is a very important things to watch out for. And then you're going to have obstacles this year, but learn from them. And then you'll become stronger, right? And be careful with sharp objects, and make sure you take time for rest and relaxation. And with that, we're at the last animal of the year, and that is the snake, which was the Grand Duke, was the big leader this year and still is. It's kind of now shaking hands with the horse. It has no relationship with the horse, and the general energies are mixed. The main theme is you get wealth through friends, through people that you know. There's a possibility for promotion. There are also going to be lots of parties and celebration, and you have access to good medical advice and the capability to absorb new knowledge. And the key opportunity is in your network. As I said, the wealth comes through friends, and not only wealth, but opportunities, right? So you may not know when they come, and you just find it in your network. And the key challenge is that you would work too much, and your life may be out of balance, which can lead to some health issues. And the mindset, in terms of mindset and emotions, it's you may feel very insecure this year. And the helpful people are those with monkey, rooster, and ox in their charts. And guiding suggestion, network, eat healthy. Again, all those parties can lead to weight gain and health issues. Important to ground. And do something completely new. That if you are in a swamp and you feel like, out of balance and insecure, doing something completely new, travel to a new place or something, may light up your inner spark and boost you up. And don't hide from issues. And don't escalate arguments. Talk with friends over, and it also has this potential for legal issues. So review documents, and if you have any lingering potential legal stuff that is hanging on, try to solve it as soon as possible. We have still a couple of weeks. I mean, just bringing up from avoiding it and start dealing with it. The sooner you solve it, the better off you are. And follow rules, the same thing, it goes in the same bucket. And pay attention to your health because of this. So that's basically the overview of all the forecast for the 12 animal signs. And one more thing that's left for me to do is to outline how how can I support you. So I have basically two ways. It's either to embodied support or strategic clarity. And embodied support has to do with Qigong. I offer a series of 3 Qigong classes on Zoom to specifically designed to transition into the fire horse year. The dates are selected using Chinese metaphysics, and they're very gentle and grounding practices. And then in terms of strategic clarity, I offer a personalized strategic guide with written guidance for the year with monthly guidance, and it's all based on your personal Chinese astrology chart. It outlines the key themes and opportunities and challenges for 2026, including strategic timing and insights. And you can find all that information on my website under the services tab. And thank you for being here, and I'm happy to take your questions. And please follow me on social media for strategic ongoing insights. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I invite you to, let's see, you can either put your question in the chat or raise your hands, and then I will unmute you. I'll ask you to unmute. And yeah, so.
That was wonderful, Sylvia.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. You'll get the replay for this. I know maybe it was quite fast. I don't even know. 11:06, so it's just about an hour, not too bad, because we started like 5 minutes after the hour. Thank you for the hearts going. So next week, I'm gonna, before you kind of think, just for everybody else, like formulate your questions. And as I mentioned to people who came in early, I want next week to do a little social media post on the difference between the Chinese New Year, the lunar Chinese New Year, which is the big cultural celebration that happens on 17th of February, and the solar New Year, which is the basis of astrology, which starts always in the 3rd or 4th of February.
Sylvia,
Okay.
does our life star affect any of this? Because
I'm
I don't
sorry?
even know what life star, when I did the chart, I have a life star 3,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that means. And does it play into the
It has to do
animals?
with Feng Shui. Yeah, you'll learn about that when on my next talk. Okay, Lisa F, you can unmute.
Hello, Sylvia. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I am totally new to pretty much anything relating to Chinese astrology. And I have my chart on my cell phone, so it involves scrolling and all of that. I didn't get a chance to print it out. But I had a couple of questions. When you talk about friends for each astrological sign, um, I kind of noticed that it seemed to me that I I end up being potentially a friend to a lot of different signs. Um, and I'm also wondering if I have the signs that my astrological sign is supposed to be able to be compatible with in my chart, does that mean that there are aspects to me that are actually a friend to me? Or does that really just strictly mean that outside of myself, friends would be represented by those signs?
Very good question. Excellent question. So each animal sign has connections with three. One is like their best friend, like the goat and the horse are best friend. And then there's also like they're connected also to other animals. So yes, you have 4 animals in your chart. So that means there are many different animals that can be your friends, right? And if you have, so that again, there you can look more on which pillar those refer to, but in general, all of those people, yes, can be helpful to you. And then regarding if you do have those in your own chart, that's a very good point. That means that you can help yourself, right? So let's
That's
say
what I
you,
was hoping.
yes, exactly. That means you have, so these friends, right, are like, let's say you have your friend is in your month, right? So that's actually very good for your work, right? So yes, so if you have it in your own chart, that means that you can help yourself. And
It's
that means
very
good things for those area where those it means you're gonna have help in work in general, right? And in yourself.
right. And I don't, if other people have questions, I just had one other. There was something on this that talked about the percentages that relate to the different um, metal, wood, that kind of thing. I don't think I'm misstating that. And if
Yeah.
you, based on your birth date, have like a couple of qualities, let's say, I don't know what you'd call them, but if water and uh, I'm trying to think of what some of the other ones were, have a higher percentage, and then I have two that are very low percentage. What does that mean? Is
Yes,
that
very good.
only for the year, or is it for this is my birth chart?
This is your birth chart. So,
Yeah.
so that's actually a very good, that's one of the key aspects that is done in the personalized strategic guide and also in the Qigong, when I do personalized Qigong. The imbalance in your natal chart of the elements have a direct influence with the health aspect, the health ailments that you may develop in your house, in your life. So they're very important and also have implications for your personality overall, because I said that the main energy is that on the day stem, but
Right.
it's really when you look at the whole chart, then you look at all the different elements. So which is your dominant energy among the 5 energies? That's also very important. It has significant implications in your life. And I should say that everybody has their chart is imbalanced, and that's a good thing because that's what leads to an interesting life. For health, though, you really want things balanced, and that's where Qigong can be so. And Chinese medicine does the same thing. It basically corrects for these imbalances. In Chinese medicine, they feel your pulse and they see what is happening at the moment. But then with Qigong, what I do in the personalized Qigong sessions, I look at that makeup and then I can relate and I give specific Qigong exercises to address the fundamental imbalance. And another thing I want to mention is that when you look at your life, so that's what you got there is your natal chart, and then at the bottom you saw a bunch of years, like a bunch of decades. So that's the beauty of Chinese astrology, that it gives you not only your energetic blueprint at the moment of birth, but also dynamically what happens to you as you evolve in life. So each decade your way come different energies that belong only to you, and they can be very different. They affect your life differently, and your lesson for that decade is very different. And I'm sure that a lot of you have noticed that you may have gone through, I don't know, 10 years or whatever long period, and you've done something and everything worked and things were fine, and all of a sudden whatever you did, it no longer works. But that's exactly what happens, is like you go into a different decade and then your lesson is different. What works is different then. And so there are decades when you're going to make money and decades where money is going to be a problem. And if you know ahead of time, then the decades that you make money, don't spend it. Don't think that that's going to last forever, right? There's cycles. So then save it and prepare that when you don't make money, you still have resources, right? So that, and the balance of those energies, what you see in the chart is the balance as the natal chart, but then that balance changes with each decade.
Yes, and I'm looking at that now, and it really makes me, everything you're saying and looking at the chart makes me more interested in wanting to get in touch with you and get a fuller understanding of this because, I'm just looking at it, and the impression I'm getting is that for two specific decades that are sequential, I'm seeing that the two
Yeah,
elements.
these are already detailed. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean that it's going to vary for each person. And when
it's
you change
crazy.
decades, some 2 decades may be very similar. They may be more yin or yang for some people. For other people, there could be drastic changes, right? So
Right. That's
there's
why I
no
want to,
general way of discussing it.
I'm going
So
to definitely want to connect with
okay,
you. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Those are very good questions. I'm glad I was able to address that because it was not exactly the scope of the talk, but they're very important aspects. And that's what I find so powerful about Chinese astrology compared to Western astrology. It's just like this concrete guidance that it gives you and the dynamic view of your life. But I don't know enough about Western astrology, so I'm not putting it down. I just, and one thing I want to say is that if you're familiar with Western astrology, just empty your cup from all the knowledge that all the association that you make with the elements, because fire in Western astrology and fire in Chinese astrology is not the same thing. First of all, Western astrology has only 4 elements, one of them being air. And so there are only 3 elements that are the same. And the way they're organized, like, for instance, fire in Chinese astrology is all summer season. They're all together, right? Where fire in Western astrology is basically happens every 4 months or every 3 months, right? So yeah, make sure you don't make that analogy.
Um, can you explain what I see that for everything it seems to have a yang element and a yin element. What does that mean in Chinese astrology? It's the
Yeah.
same element, but it's, one is a yin energy element and the other is a yang. How do you see that?
Yes. So basically, that yin and yang are at the basis of everything. And then we have 5 elements, and each one expresses itself in yin and yang. So that's 10 entities, right? And then we have 12 animals, right? 12 branches. And so but there is one, and you see they're coupled, right? So there's
Yeah.
one important rule that the polarity is maintained. So a yang animal and can only couple with the yang fundamental energy. And that's why you originally you think, oh, 12 animals, 10 entities will have 120 possible combinations and we'll have a cycle of 120. But no, the cycle is of 60 because yang animals only couple with yang energy. So basically you have 5 times 12, not 10 times 12. So
Yeah.
what that means is that if you look at your chart, and you see that so you don't have to look at top and bottom because they will be the same in terms of yin and yang. So if you see that you have in the day, you have a yang pillar, that means that you're action driven, you're more tough. If you have a yin pillar, then you're more receptive, more gentle, right? And you can see a lot of people, and then you can look at one thing I do is I look at the overall makeup. You see how many pillars are yang, how many pillars are yin. That can tell you the overall makeup. Are you more action driven or more people driven? That the yin is also more people relationship are important. And for yang is more like goals, achieving goals. We live in a very yang society, right? It's all about going straight to the goal and not going in, going out. And so I look at the balance overall on all 4 pillars, and then also externally and internally. And it's very interesting to see how this pays out, and people really resonate with that. It's amazing. I do free Chinese astrology readings, like short sessions at the local co-op here. as community engagement. And, I see people there all the time that I've never seen before, and they just like, yeah, it resonates. It's very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, questions. I'll stay for as long as people have questions. I'm very happy to clarify these things, and these are great questions. I'm glad that I was able to
Yeah, I've got a question, please.
yes.
I understand exactly what you're saying about the correlation or non-correlation, should I say, between the lunar and what we're dealing with today. But my birth year was 60 years ago, so I am fire horse. Do you think that has any extra significance or not on what we've discussed today?
Yes, and I should have mentioned that. Thank you for bringing that up. So you saw that the horse has kind of like a hard thing. So you're going to have an excellent year. When people turn 60, that is really a seminal year, and kind of like everything, whatever negative energies that come to the horse, they're more dissipated. So that's the significance. A significant year. You're going back to the original year, and that's going to be like a really good year for you.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Well, I'm really pleased with the way that my chart has panned out, doing it like this. It's absolutely brilliant. I was aware that, I did have a considerable amount of fire in my chart the year I was born. But certainly I'd be definitely interested in having the full analysis done. So I'll be in contact, yeah.
Sure. And again, I want to remind everybody that this year you may be very pleased with what's happening, but it's still only 1 year. So keep that in mind. It's the yin yang cycle, right? So, and no matter what, no matter if it's a good year or a bad year, it's your action that matters. And as long as you're resilient and you work hard, you can actually really step up and level up yourself and become better, right? We always learn from challenges, right? When it's smooth sailing, we're just kind of going along, and it's things happen. But when we are forced with obstacles, that's when we grow, right? When in relationships we overcome crisis, that's when the relationship gets better, right? So there's something to be said about having kind of negative energies. It's up to you to really step up. And then a lot of the emotional challenges that show up actually have to do with your own, like some are not, some come from external forces, and that you just need to cope with it. But a lot of them have to do with your inner world, and you kind of, it's like bringing it onto yourself. So that just, okay. So Smadar, please unmute yourself.
Hi. I have a question because when I look at the chart, I think I have four animals in my chart. So when you were going through all the animals, what am I looking for? Am I looking at all the qualities of all the animals that you talked about, or is it the animals in a certain position that I have to look at?
Yeah. So
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. So the animals you really need to look at are the 4 animals that you have in your chart. Those are the predominant. And then if the animal that appears in your year has most influence, it has influence overall, but the most influence is over your most external, the way, social network and so on and so forth. If it's in the month, that's actually very important from an operational standpoint, that those energies will show up at the place where you earn your money, where you get your income. If it's in the day, again, it's very important because that has to do with you and your partner, right? Which are very important pillars of our existence. And then if it comes in the hour, it's about your inner core, your thoughts, your mindset, your children, but still overall it affects you, right? They all interact. So there is an overall interaction, but those are the main. So those 4 are the main ones. And then if you look down in the chart, where you see the lack pillars, and there's one pillar that's highlighted, the pillar that you are in, which at the top shows the years, right? That you can also look at that fifth animal, and that has to do, that's only temporary, right? But that has to do with opportunities that you have this decade, right? So 4 are the most important that are in your natal chart, and then also the fifth animal that's in your pillar, in your luck pillar, which is called the decade you're in, is called the luck pillar. And the other thing about the luck pillar, one interesting thing to look at is to see where 2026 is in that span. Because if your luck pillar starts like within a couple of years or ends within a couple of years of 2026, it means that your energies are mixed with the prior or the future luck pillar decade that you see there at the bottom of the chart, right? So that makes things a little more complicated, and then we need to look at both of them and see exactly, what's happening.
Okay,
But
I'm
again,
glad I
remember,
asked because
yes,
I was looking in the wrong spot. I was looking in the little box where it has Daymaster, Nobleman, Intellect, Host Horse,
yeah.
and I was looking at the animals there.
No.
Right, I got
Yeah.
it now.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, so that little box on the side is, so the animals that you find there where it says nobleman has to do with, again, the help that you receive, and that's permanent. That's your natal nobleman. So you can apply the same thing what I said for like what I said at, in the talk, but those are also people that if they have that in their chart, then they're there for you. But you need to ask for help. That's very important, right? And I should say something else about noblemen. So there are some noblemen, I can't remember to what level of nobleman you get that little box, because that's an abridged version. The full chart is much more complicated and very intimidating. So there is a nobleman that's called the Taiji nobleman. And that is a nobleman that, on the one hand, it helps you with spiritual pursuits. And the other way is it's a nobleman that kicks your butt, meaning that it's not a nice nobleman. It's a nobleman that will make you either have an epiphany or, realize something new, right? Which is actually the same thing as epiphany. And so, but it may not be very comfortable, right? So it's not like help, like, oh, it takes off your butt. No, it may kick your butt, right? I read this somewhere. They say that your tormentors are your mentors, right? Very true. So again, it has to do with going through challenges and you need to embrace it, right? And then you can step up. So Taiji nobleman is a very powerful nobleman. It helps you solve problems. It helps you also see problems at a higher level, see the problems in context, like see how problems are related. Like, oh, somebody comes with you and say, oh, I have this problem. It's like, oh, maybe if I do this, I can solve this problem, but I can solve this other problem and this other problem because there's like some commonality there.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have to go through the presentation again because I was looking at the wrong animals. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for asking that question because it's important for everybody.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Sylvia. That was fantastic. I had a question about why you say the energy of the horse here begins on February 4th, which is classically around the time of Li Chun or the beginning of spring in the Chinese calendar, rather than on February 17th, which is, as I understood it, was the beginning of the Lunar New Year. So why the February 4th date?
Thank you for asking that question. And that's going to be my next social media posting next week. So Chinese astrology is based on the solar calendar, which is always starts on the 3rd and the 4th. The Chinese calendar overall is it's a luni-solar calendar, which means it goes by both. The February 17th Chinese New Year celebration is a cultural celebration, and it has to do with the lunar year. As you noticed from previous years, that this is something that's shifting very much. Last year was very early in January. I can't remember the exact date, but almost like a month early. And this year is very late. It's usually much sooner than February 17. And this has to do with the way the harmonization between the solar and the lunar cycles happen. So in Western world, we add a leap day. I mean, we have a leap year every 4 years, and our months are 30 or 31 days, right? The Chinese, they have the solar years, which are kind of like 30 days, the Jieqi system. But then they have the lunar months, which are just 28, around 28 days. So every 2.7 years, they introduce a leap month, which basically makes back shifts basically harmonizes the solar and the lunar year. And this the snake year was actually a leap year. We had a double August. August was a double month. And that's why there's such a huge, almost a month difference between last year's Chinese New Year celebration and this year's Chinese New Year celebration. So in this year, and always this period between the Lunar New Year and the Chinese and the Solar New Year, in terms of astrology, there's a misconnect, right? So in the Lunar New Year, the snake goes until February 17th, but really babies are born before or after February 4th is what's going to determine their astrological chart and the astrological year. And last year, the year of the dragon ended early, sometime in January, but still after the Chinese cultural celebration welcomed the year of the snake, kids born before, after February 4th, let's see which way. Yeah, between the last year's Chinese Lunar New Year and February 4th were still in the year of the dragon. So does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question. I want to, so that's why I want to make a social media post on that, because I think it's a very important distinction. And I got a lot of questions on this. I know there's a lot of information, but I'm so glad for all these great questions, because I think you're going to help clarify a lot of things for a lot of people.
Sylvia, could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What does the peach blossom represent in the basic Bazi analysis?
Yeah. So peach blossom is a likability star. It means people like you. So when you have those animals that you're going to be naturally attracted to, then they're going to be naturally attracted to you.
Oh, okay.
And then
Thank you.
have, so some of the things when I was talking about likability, there's the peach blossoms. These are called stars. Those are the energies that I said that they get distributed, right? So that's your natal energy. And that means that also when that month or time of day comes, it's good for you. You're going to be more liked by people, right? So it's good to plan things. And then the energies, there's peach blossom that comes for the year. That means this year you're going to be like more liked.
So if mine says horse, then this should be a good year for that part?
Yes, it should be a good year for you, yeah.
Okay, even though a lot of the other things don't quite indicate good year on some of my other parts.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I want to stress this, that you should take this as empowerment, right?
Right.
And there's always, so every animal has good energies and bad energies. And some of the bad energies are more important than others, right? Some are stronger, some are not, that don't have such a big effect. And the other thing I should say, that in terms of the bad energy, the not so good energies, if you don't engage in those kind of behaviors, then they're not going to apply. And the general advice is to really focus on the good things that come your way and just go on those and make the most of those. And then, there's not, how it is like when you're really full of really good things, there's no space for bad stuff to come in, right? So that's a general, spirituality cultivation idea. That's why when you want to release something, right, then you always want to immediately, like in Qigong, for instance, right, you release let's say, things that no longer serve you, you don't want to leave that empty. You want to immediately fill it up with some good things. So you're full of light and positive energy and you radiate it outside. And that's what keeps your vibration high.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Welcome.